I'm not doing what I reckon, just a speck in the unspeakable. This body, this feeling, always moving, always changeable. But the space in between, I love the clear blue open sky.
There seem to be so many ideas about what we want, what we need, what we're missing. Ideas that somehow something out there will fulfill us. Some perfect experience, some perfect state, some perfect realization that one day I will get. One day it'll all be okay. It'll all fit into place. Even if those ideas are very spiritual ideas, very non-dual ideas, Advaita ideas, satsang ideas, somehow thought seems to hijack reality. Somehow thought will always continuously say that what is right now is not quite enough. Thought interprets everything that happens. Thought grasps for more, even just a little bit more. Thought gives meaning to everything that happens. Thought gives some kind of reference point. Thought refers to me as a central reference point. Me in my life. This is the game of thought. This is the game of living a life, it seems. This is the nature of this game of living a life. The nature of thought is to try to improve everything, anything. It will never be satisfied with the simple happening, the simple sensation, the ordinary feeling. Thought's nature is to be restless, to be in movement, to never know the stillness that is always beyond thought. The silence that is always beyond thought and beyond the experience even of silence or stillness. So even in a meeting like this where we sit silently or we sit very still, we feel an experience of peace. This experience will change. At some point, something else will happen. Thought will come back in, Some emotion will happen. Someone will irritate you. Sensations will be felt in an overwhelming way. And perhaps thought will say, "Oh, damn, I've lost it." Because all thought can do is interpret experience. That's its job. But experience comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. And no matter what thought says or does, it cannot hold on to anything that happens. It cannot change anything that happens. It cannot push away anything that happens. Thought is a running commentary, almost like the subtitles of this movie. And the movie plays out of control. No one directing it. And this movie includes everything that happens. Sounds, sensations, thoughts, emotions, visual images. Everything that happens. It includes this character that is normally called me. This person that seems to be someone living a life. Living a life in time. And this person is the star of this movie. All the drama, all the action that happens in the movie happens for me. And at times it's very dramatic. A lot of the time, maybe. Especially when thought gives even more meaning to what happens. Makes what happens seem to be very important for me. Somehow then the sensations are felt to be more intense, the emotions are more intense, more overwhelming. Because it's all specially happening for me. But it's quite interesting to stop for a moment and just check out, what is this me? What is the reality of this me? Is there any reality to this me? This someone who's supposed to be right now in a body, sitting on a chair, looking out of two eyes, looking out at the world out there, feeling that somehow I am in here and the world is out there. Is there any truth to that? Are you actually in there? Is that who you are? And I ask these questions so that you can check this out for yourself, not so that you just believe what I say. Because thought can interpret what I'm saying as well. Take this on as a conceptual understanding, as a new belief system or religion. Thought can agree with what I'm saying, but without actually checking for yourself, without actually investigating, like a scientist, to see what you actually know to be true right now, without thinking about it, very, very simply. Like a child. So simple. You don't have to be clever. It's literally seeing what is the reality. We hear about this idea of waking up from a dream. And that is about checking out what is really the case, what is really happening right now, what do you really know? And if you don't find anyone in there beyond thought, then trust that. Trust what you find to be true. Don't trust what anyone else tells you, or what you read in books, or what thought interprets. This is for you to know for yourself. Surely it's not satisfying to just agree with this. Surely that somehow doesn't really touch you. To walk away with some concepts or beliefs. It certainly was never good enough for me. This is about really looking at perhaps what you're afraid of looking at. We're looking at death, really. Because actually when you have a look to see if there is anyone in there, you may just find absolutely nothing. And this is death. You may just find that there is nothing but death. And to the mind, to thought, that sounds terrible. That sounds depressing. But without thinking about it, just for a moment, to see the reality of it, it's not depressing, it's not frightening. It's simply the way it is. Nothing, no one here. Nothing actually happening. But thought can never understand this. Thought can never get this. So it can be incredibly frustrating for thought. Because perhaps you'll have a glimpse of something, an experience of recognition. But this, like any experience, will pass. What I'm talking about cannot be held on to. It is only recognized right now, absolutely fresh. Even if you've recognized this in the past, it's absolutely meaningless. This is only ever known, absolutely, in not knowing right now, in not understanding, in not finding, in not getting. It becomes absolutely obvious.
When you have a dog, you go for a walk. When you have a child, you go to the beach. When you have a lover, you stay in bed. When you watch a movie, it gets in your head. La 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 la.